Right this very second, there's a tiny bit of sugar flowing through your veins that is, and I mean this literally, keeping you alive. It's the one fuel your body absolutely cannot live without. But, and this is the tricky part, it can also become one of your biggest health enemies.
So that really begs the question, doesn't it? When we're talking about the sugar in your blood, are we dealing with a trusted friend or a dangerous foe? The answer to that could actually change everything about your health journey. And the answer, maybe not surprisingly, is it's both. Understanding how it flips from one to the other, well, that's one of the most important stories your body will ever tell you.
Okay, let's dive into that. To really get the friend part of this whole deal, we gotta understand what blood glucose even is and why it's so incredibly critical for, well, everything you do.
So, simply put, blood glucose is sugar in your blood. But, hold on, it's not the same stuff you're stirring into your morning coffee. This is a very specific type of sugar, glucose. And you can think of it as the premium, high-octane fuel for every single cell that makes you, you.
Here's a great way to picture it. Imagine your body is this huge, bustling city. Your blood vessels, those are the highways. And these little glucose molecules, they're the delivery trucks, just rushing energy to every single part of town. Your heart, your muscles, and especially your brain. I mean, your brain alone hogs a whopping 20% of all the glucose you have. That's why when your levels dip too low, you feel confused, irritable, hangry. Your brain is literally having an energy crisis. But just like in a real city, if you have too many trucks on the road, you get dangerous traffic jams that start to tear up the pavement itself.
So if glucose is the fuel, how does it get from the highway into all the little houses and businesses that actually need it? Well, that's where a super important hormone comes into play. Insulin.
Let's just follow that whole journey, from your plate to your cells. So first, you eat something with carbs, let's say a piece of toast. Your body breaks it down into glucose, which then gets dumped into your bloodstream. Your pancreas, which is kind of like this brilliant little traffic controller, senses this and immediately releases insulin. Now think of insulin as a bunch of tiny little keys. These keys float over to your cells. They pop into the locks and click. The doors swing open, allowing all that glucose fuel to rush inside. Once the cells have taken what they need, your blood sugar levels just settle right back down to normal.
It's amazing, really. In a healthy body, this whole elegant dance is totally automatic and super efficient. It all wraps up in about 2 to 3 hours after you eat. It's a perfect system. But what happens when the keys go missing? Or maybe the locks on the doors get a little rusty?
And that question brings us to the faux side of glucose. And believe it or not, it all comes down to a few simple numbers. You could think of these numbers as a report card for your metabolism, and honestly, knowing your numbers could save your life.
These numbers, they're measured in milligrams per deciliter, and they basically act like a traffic light for your health. Let's look at a fasting blood sugar test. That's what you get first thing in the morning before you eat. A normal green light reading is anywhere from 70 to 99. The yellow light, the warning zone, is from 100 to 125. We call this prediabetes. And then anything 126 or higher, well, that's a red light. That's a diagnosis of diabetes. The idea is the same after a meal. The numbers are just a little bit higher across the board.
Okay, now here's the part that is really, really scary. It's estimated that 1 in every 3 American adults is in that yellow, pre-diabetes zone. But what's truly mind-blowing is that 80% of them have no idea. None. That's millions and millions of people walking around with high blood sugar, completely unaware of the damage that might be happening inside their bodies.
So why is this so dangerous? Well, when your blood sugar is always high, it's kind of like trying to pump thick, sticky maple syrup through delicate garden hoses instead of clean water. It just slowly grinds away, damaging the tiny blood vessels in your eyes, the little filters in your kidneys, your nerves, your arteries, the whole system. And because it does all of this so quietly without any obvious symptoms for years, it's often called the silent killer.
Right. That was the bad news, I know. But here is the really empowering part. This is not some runaway train you can't stop. You are in the driver's seat. You have way more control than you think.
I want you to picture your blood sugar like a seesaw at the playground. It's not just sitting there, right? It's dynamic. It's constantly moving up and down all day long. And the direction it moves is a direct result of the choices you make.
So on one side of the seesaw, pushing it up, we've got the stuff that raises your blood sugar. The obvious one is carbohydrates from food. Bread, rice, even fruit. But it's also things you might not think about, like stress, or being sick, or not getting enough sleep. Even just sitting on the couch all day, because your muscles are one of the biggest users of glucose in your body.
And then, on the other side of the seesaw, we have the things that bring it back down. Exercise is a huge one. Your muscles just gobble up glucose for fuel when you move. Of course, certain medications are designed to do this. And even things like intermittent fasting can help by giving your whole system a break. The main point is, you have levers you can pull on both sides of this thing.
Let me make this super real for you with a quick story about a guy named Mike. Mike's 45, felt totally great, even played basketball on the weekends. But he goes for a routine physical, and his fasting blood sugar comes back at 118. That number put him squarely in that yellow prediabetes zone.
So what did Mike do? He didn't panic. He just made 3 really simple, totally achievable changes. He started taking a 30-minute walk after dinner every night. He switched from white rice to brown rice. And just by doing those things, he ended up losing about 15 pounds. That's it. Seriously.
6 months go by, he goes back to the doctor. His new number? 94. Just like that, right back in the green zone. Normal. And he did it all without a single prescription. Mike's story just proves that if you catch this early, you absolutely have the power to turn that ship around.
So here's the big takeaway from all this. Your blood glucose level, it isn't just some random number on a lab report. It's a conversation. It's your body's way of giving you a real-time report card on how your lifestyle is impacting your health.
Every single meal, every walk you take, every good night of sleep, it's all part of that conversation. The fantastic news is that you can always improve your grade. The only question left is, are you listening? If you're over 35 or have any risk factors, please just ask your doctor for a simple fasting glucose test. It might just be the most important conversation you ever have with your body.